Hello friends, welcome back to a little coffee club. So it's exactly the same setup as you guys saw last week because I'm recording both of these videos at the same time. I tried to pull a shot of espresso last week and I ended up having to pull 2 shots, and I also talked a little bit about the tea and what happened to the previous video to that one, and there's just things got kind of long, so I decided to split up the video. And so I'm starting now the second video, which you guys are about to see right now. And, I'm gonna do a pour over with this coffee, which I brewed 2 weeks back. If you look at the video from 2 weeks ago, I brewed this as espresso and it didn't end up good. And I didn't even guess at the tasty notes because I did not want to do a disservice to this coffee. But today we'll do a pour over and hopefully I get it right and I can guess at the tasty notes and all that good stuff. Now, the pour over videos don't do as well as the espresso videos. I imagine most of the people here on the channel are here for espresso. They love the Bianca content. But comment below, let me know. We're gonna grind this with the niche duo, which pretty soon I'm gonna swap out the burrs, go to the espresso burrs, and I'll record a video showing you guys the process of switching out the burrs. Maybe we'll clean it. I think calibrating I'll leave for another day because that's a little bit more intricate. But I want to do, get back to the duo as far as espresso pretty soon and mess around with that a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna do pour over. Comment below, you guys really enjoy these pour over videos? Most of the time what I do is pour overs. I do espresso on the weekends when I have more time, and that's when I record the videos and all that stuff. But I have to say, on my day-to-day, what I drink is mainly pour overs. So I can't wait to try this one as pour over, see if I can get something really good from it. I'll let you guys know in a minute. Let's take it over to the other counter and try it out.
Closing time, the bar is almost empty. It's me, the bartender, and the piano man. The last call for alcohol has come and gone. Hey buddy, time to go home. Sounds like a messed up plan.
All right, here we go, guys. So we're gonna do 20 grams. We're gonna grind it on the duo. This is coffee, like I said, it was just totally wrong when I did it as espresso the other day. It pulled faster than what you guys just saw last week from that Diego Bermudez coffee. But yet there was the astringency and the over extractness. There was the bitterness in it, but there was none. You could drink it, but there was nothing like really good about it. It was, I don't know how to explain it. There was some of the bad with none of the good. Like I couldn't review it that way. Now the Diego Bermudez, yes, it was a super long shot. Maybe it was somewhat over extracted even to me. But the goodness was still there. The sweetness was still there. There was a lot of aspects of that shot of espresso that was wonderful, and I didn't want to throw it away. With this coffee, I got the negative aspects and none of the good aspects. So we'll see if we can make that, we can fix that now with a pour over. All right, so we're gonna dose out our 20 grams. Let's get this show on the road here. And I hope I do a better job today with this. Okay, we got 20 grams. Well, we're in between 20 grams and 20.1. Let's grind this on the Duo. Again, I'm gonna use the Steadfast. You guys have seen me use this brewer many times. It is my favorite brewer to use. Although, you know, it's funny because if I had to pick a brewer, I already said it, I would go with the Origami. The Origami is cheaper. The Origami uses the cone filters, and you can also use flat bottom filters. It's just a win-win overall. It's just a, I wouldn't say better brewer, but more flexible, but the consistency of the Steadfast, and it just I love it. I love the way it looks, and I love working with it, and that in itself is part of the enjoyment. So I just I go back to this one quite often because I just love using it, you know. But if I had to pick a brewer, I think the Origami is still like the best way to go. And if you're gonna have a second one, I would go again with the AeroPress, just because of its flexibility and because you can use it to travel with, and it's just a win-win. So I would get an Origami and an AeroPress and be done. Yeah, but you know, if you go deep enough down the rabbit hole of coffee brewing and you love this whole experience and it's a hobby to you, you'll probably end up with a little collection of brewers because we just keep adding to them. But again, I just love using the Steadfast. Let's you know what, let's grind the coffee first. Okay, so where should we grind? I do want to get a really good extraction, bring out the flavor. I'm gonna go at, let's go at 40. Okay, so grind size 40. I've usually been between 35 and 50 for the most part. Between 35 and 50, you get an acceptable, you know, timing for most coffees on the Duo. So, all right, 20 grams. We're gonna grind at 40, and let's see. Again, the Duo is super fast, guys. It's super fast, flat bursts, really nice big flat bursts. I'm at 19.7, so we lost a 0.3. Let's do a little bellows. Okay, again, just get yourself one of these. At the time of me editing this video, as you can see, I received a new product from Gemini Coffee Tools, the people that sent me the puck screen. This is a new little bellows system that fits on both the Duo, and as you could see, it fits also on the Niche Zero perfectly. It makes a great seal, it works really nicely, and you know, I'm really excited to share this with you guys and to try it out on one of the videos. But again, I didn't have it when I was recording this video, but I do have it now as of the time of editing. And I don't know, next time we need a bellows, we'll play with it. I can't wait to show you guys this. So check it out, guys, Gemini Coffee Tools. You can use it like bellows and get a little bit more out. All right, I didn't get much of anything. It still says 19.7, and I see that some of the coffee dropped here. Maybe it fell out just before I did see how much was that? It still didn't even, yeah, it did register. I got a 0.1, so now I'm at 19.8. You know, I'm just gonna go with 19.8. Let's fold the filter. Then we're gonna rinse, kind of heat up everything. I gotta get my cup out, forgot about that. Again, I did receive a message previously saying that if I had the overhead shot when I'm doing these pour over videos, perhaps they would do better. And yes, I think that will add some interest and value to the video, but it just creates more work. Today, just as an experiment, we're gonna try that. I got another camera set up overhead I don't know if it's the perfect angle, but you know, I kind of have to be in here too. So I have a tripod next to me, like really up high, and then I have the phone on the counter, and we just see how it works. If it works and it doesn't create too much work, then when I do pour over videos, maybe I could go with this kind of setup. We'll try it today. Okay, this is my favorite cup for pour overs. It's what I use almost always. That's what I'm gonna go with. Let's fluff up the grounds. Okay, get our filter in here. And I like to press it in here to kind of, the bottom of it to kind of mold to the shape of the brewer, and it kind of helps it sit better, and usually you end up with just like a better fit overall. Okay, I'm gonna start the other, should I? You know, the other camera is the one I usually use for the bottom shot. I can't record a whole bunch of footage with that. It's not like I can keep it running the whole time. Let's rinse first and then I'll start it. By the way, water temperature's at 97. I wanna be just off of boiling. Like I said, I wanna get a really good extraction here. Try to get the most out of this coffee. This being, from what I remember being, and from what I tasted really on the espresso, it was like over extracted, but still not a lot there, not a lot. Some bitterness, but yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I've never done such a bad job explaining explaining a brew as to like what happened last time with this thing. I mean, you gotta look back. It was a couple videos ago when I first opened this bag. Yeah, it didn't go well. Okay, so now I take this hot water and put it into my cup. This is gonna start getting the cup hot. You know, I'm glad that, you know, by me making these videos and people watching them, it has inspired a couple of folks out there to start doing pour overs. I think that's great that I actually was the source of inspiration for someone. So, all right, here we go. It's at 0. Let's reweigh this in here. Okay, so now it's all the way up to 19.9, but I know it was more like 19.8. Doesn't matter, close enough. Again, I do a 1 to 15 with almost every time. Again, all of these parameters, guys, you can play with them to see what kind of flavor you get, and you know, and work it from there. But for a lightly roasted coffee, you want to get usually more of like a good extraction. So go with hotter water, grind it finer, and brew it longer. You'll get more extraction, right? So those are the parameters you play with to either bring, like I said, more extraction or less. If the coffee is tasting bitter and somewhat burnt or somewhat like negative kind of notes like that, like burnt, bitterness, then you want to brew it faster if that's the case. So, but yeah, we're gonna today shoot for around 3.5 minutes, 3.5 to 4 minutes, somewhere like that. I'll be happy between 3.5 and 4 minutes. The Steadfast is a very slow brewer, so you gotta kind of have to grind coarse, and I did not. I ground at 40. So there's a chance here we can, you know, depending how it flows, some coffees give you more fines than others, and therefore some coffees flow fast and some coffees flow slow. If this flows pretty fast, I'll still be able to manage that and control it with some agitation. If it's one of these coffees that flows very slow, then wow, this could turn out to be more than 5 minutes. So we'll see what happens. Let me tear the scale. Okay, on the Steadfast, okay, so 20 grams in, 300 grams out, a 1 to 15. I do 6 pours, 50 grams every time. And they alternate between circle pour, center pour, circle pour, center pour. You're gonna do 6 pours of 50 grams. At the end, you end up with 300, right? So that's the process. And we pour every 30 seconds. So usually between the first pour and the second, it's barely starting to drip because kind of like those first 50 grams just gets absorbed by the coffee. Therefore, sometimes I will do 100 grams. Today I'm not gonna do that, but sometimes I like to do my first pour of 100 and I do 50 circle, 50 center, I give it a little swirl and I start that way. And should we do that? Yeah, you know what, let's do that, let's do that. But if I do it that way, then I have to usually wait around 45 seconds for the first pour. Let's see what happens. I know that's a little bit confusing, but if you if you need any help, just comment below. All right, here we go. 50 circle, here we go, and 50 center, all the way to 100 grams. Okay, we're at 103, and then we swirl it. Just a little swirl. You wanna try to get everything saturated. So now at 45 seconds, we do the next one, which will be a circle pour. You know, I wanted to give you guys that other angle overhead. I don't think that's gonna happen. I have to figure this out. Let me go to 150. I don't think that's gonna happen because it's flowing kind of good, nice and fast. Okay, now everything's really saturated because it really wasn't. And you could see how it slows down. So agitation will cause your drawdown to slow down like this because more fines move around the edge of the filter paper and kind of gets it somewhat clogged up and it slows down. Okay, at 1.5 minutes, I'm gonna do another center pour. Okay. So we're at 200. Nice, flowing quite slow. We'll see. Again, I wanted to give you the overhead shot, but I just don't have, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not even gonna try. It's just, I can't do it today, guys. Okay, we're at 2 minutes. I lost track of my whole thing here. I think I'm supposed to do a circle. All right, I'm around 258. So I have another 50 grams, will be a center pour, then one last swirl at the end to kind of flatten things out. And see, but we're at 2.5 minutes. I mean, the timing might be right. We'll see. Because there's so many pours in this, using the steadfast, I always kind of have to concentrate on what I'm doing. If not, I kind of like get it all mixed up like this. Okay, we finish at 304 grams. I can turn this off now. Okay, again, one last swirl. And now we see if we can finish between like 3.5 minutes and 4 minutes. The thing is that the camera I have set up overhead, I have to turn it on, then I have to zoom in, then I have to focus, then I have to press to start recording. It's so many things that, and I already, I'm trying to think about that as I'm counting my circle and center pour and the timing and all this stuff. It's just too much for me. My goodness, guys, listen, like I said previously, I did not go to like YouTubers Academy or something to learn how to do this. Just kind of wing it. You know, next time now I know I have to. And you know what, this camera, the one I set up today for overhead, which I said is the same one that I set up to do that bottom angle to see the coffee extracting when I do espresso, I can't keep it running all this time. So, and if I use the one I use at the other counter, that means I have to, it causes me a lot of extra work. You guys just, you guys don't get it. It's a lot of extra work because that camera is a manual focus, and then, yeah, it's no bueno. We finished right at 4. Like I think it was either between 4 minutes and 4:10. So exactly what I wanted. So it worked out. So grind size, again, for this coffee, I used 40, and we did get a 4-minute extraction. Water was at 97. We'll see. This is exactly what I was shooting for. I was able to hit that. Now it's all about the flavor, and then you dial in from there. So let's go to I'll serve it when I get to the other counter, and then we'll talk about it, see if I can guess at the tasting notes today. All right, so let's swirl it and serve this coffee and see what we get. All right, cheers. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. I did a good job today. On the aroma, there is something there. Not a whole bunch, but there is some nice aroma. Somewhat fruity. Yeah, somewhat sweet and fruity. Okay, off with their heads. This one is perfect for you, nice and clean. Yeah, I don't remember, but this has got to be a wash coffee. There's not a lot of excitement, kind of like the one we have from Square Mile, and we've had a bunch like this. Not to say that a wash coffee cannot be like exciting, but a lot of the times, you go with a natural, you go with some kind of process, fermentation process or something, and you get more punchiness. It just happens. Now that being said, I think next time I want to extract even more. I think I would grind finer, maybe extend the brewing time by another like 20 seconds or so, get a little bit more out of it. It's a lot of sweetness with this coffee, not a bunch of acidity. There is some, but I would call it mild acidity, a good level of sweetness. I would go with medium in the sweetness. I'm detecting a flavor that I've gotten before. I don't remember, of course I don't remember what it was, but I've gotten something like this before, and there is like there's a little bit of an upfront tartness, but then you get this flavor, which is, I think this is what they call stone fruit. Man, I hope I'm not like totally off and totally wrong on that, but I'm taking a leap of faith here. I've never guessed at that tasting note, but I think I'm associating what's in here with that, okay? Like this. Oh my God, I could be so off. Let's see. Yeah, like, all right, let's say when you have a nectarine, remember last time we saw nectarine and I was totally, in my mind, it was mandarin, like mandarin orange, because it was citrusy coffee and I was getting a lot of sweet citrus. So I read nectarine and in my mind it was like mandarin, and I thought I was so right and I was so wrong. But today that's what I would say, like nectarine, because of that. But when they're firm, when they're not totally ripe yet, that you got a little bit of tartness on it. And then sometimes when you have a little bit of flesh left on the seed, okay, and you kind of like chew on the seed, I don't know, maybe you guys don't do that, but if you do that, the kind of flavor you get of the little bit of flesh in the seed itself, like right in the middle, that's what I would associate with this. An upfront fruity tartness, okay? A good level of sweetness with this coffee. And then I'm taking the leap of faith with stone fruit. All right, let's read the notes. I have no idea. Let's take a look. I don't even remember if it was washed. I bought it already so long ago that, I don't know. Let's take a look. All right, this is another Good Brothers coffee. Guatemala. I'll put a picture of the label here for you guys to see it. HUE. Now, how do you pronounce that? If it's Spanish, you would just say HUE because the H has no sound. If it's English, I guess you would say HUE or HUE. I don't know. And the last word is MAM, M-A-M. I'll try to look it up and put some information as to what that means here, as I often do. When sometimes guys, if you're, sometimes you probably have me just playing in the background, you're listening to what I'm saying, you're kind of hanging out with me, but not really paying close attention. And a lot of times, and I don't blame you at all, but a lot of times I'll put subtitles to make corrections or something, maybe I misspoke or add more information as to something. So if you just have me playing in the background, you'll never see the subtitles and then you'll be thinking like, what is he talking about? But sometimes I make corrections and I add some subtitles. All right, let's keep going. So what is tasting notes? Cola like Coca-Cola. I don't know. Brown sugar. Well, I did say sweetness. I didn't guess at the sugar note or honey or caramel. I didn't know. To me, it's more like a fruity sweetness. It's what I would have gone with. Some kind of sweet fruit, not brown sugar or cola, but I don't know. And then soft peach. Well, now is a soft peach, what does that mean? Like that is really ripe, maybe? I did say it's very sweet, and I did say stone fruit. So, I don't know, how good did I do here? Soft peach. I was more like towards nectarine because of the tartness, and there is some acidity here. I don't know if I did well or not. But now soft peach, is that a different kind of peach, or do they just mean it's very ripe? I don't know. If it's just regular peach, then peach is a stone fruit, and in that sense, I would be correct. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I guessed, and that's what they say. The only thing I could tell you is that this coffee is pretty good. As of right now, there's nothing super exciting, nothing that I would say, oh, game changer. No, it's not too punchy. It's somewhat delicate in flavor. Now, if you want something sweet, clean, with an upfront tartness, this will get the job done. It's just, it won't be very peaky. So the tartness or the acidity is not gonna be too strong. The sweetness is not gonna be too strong. It's just you're there somewhere in the middle, okay? Without the peaks, without the extra oomph that elevates those coffees that I find to be like great. Usually they're punchier coffees. Usually I'm getting those highs and lows very peaky, okay? And that's what elevates it for me. This one is somewhere in the middle. It's very nice. You can tell it's very good, high quality coffee, but not very peaky. So off with their heads. I think this one's for you, buddy. Cheers. Oh, I wanted to report back as to Ollie and his gang of friends and their Biancas and the whole thing that was going on with the paddle having to open past halfway before they're getting any water flowing. Okay, so according to Ollie and his team, they apparently looked up some information or maybe wrote an email to Lalit, or I'm not exactly sure how they got this information, but they said that their Lalit has done some changes as to the way they set up the machine, and that it's quite normal for you to start getting water after you go halfway. To me, that doesn't sound right. I'm sorry, Ollie, that doesn't sound right. I think there's something wrong here, whether there's an adjustment or something that has to happen. Okay, so for half of the time it's just closed, so you have a lot less control. You have a lot less profiling that you could do. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound right. But Ollie says it's normal. It's a feature. Another thing that Ollie said that I thought was hilarious, I think I forgot to include that on the previous videos, was that he said that I was trying to figure out like when I would get more information as to the problem and what the issues that they were having. which then it turned out not to be an issue because he says it's just a feature. It's not a big deal. But then he tells me, hey, wait a minute. This is gonna take a while because first we have to figure out, what were the words? Oh, whose lady is gonna get abused? That's what he told me. So, his Bianca, his lady, he's like, they gotta figure out whose lady is gonna get abused. I thought it was hilarious. Thank you, Ollie, for making me laugh. That was a good one. That was a good one, buddy. But, it doesn't really matter. If you have to open past halfway to start getting flow, I think you have less of a range to work with. And to me, it doesn't sound right, but it could work, right? It works just the same. You'll just, as soon as you just end up with less range to work with, okay? It's just like a grinder, okay? You might be able to adjust the grinder perfectly well within, let's say, 10 notches. So you go from 10 to 20, and that's your range, and you can dial in every shot with just those 10 notches, it's fine. But if you had 20 notches, I think you can fine tune a little bit better and easier. I could be wrong on that, but let's say it was from 10 to 20. Now you have 20 notches where you can find the right adjustment, the right flow. Obviously on a grinder it's a lot more vital than just to do flow control on the Bianca, but I don't know, just some thought. I do know that abusing the machine, abusing the lady to take it apart and find out what nobody's looking forward to that. But I promise you that if I ever end up with an issue like that, I'm going right in there. I had no problems getting into the brew lever and the handle and all of that. And I have no problems with taking it apart. I don't look forward to it, but I'll get right in there. Because that's one of the reasons why I got the Bianca. That's one of the reasons why it's endgame for me, because you can buy the parts. They're available pretty much all over. There's a lot of information as to how to get in there and open it up and replace parts. Everything is replaceable. One of the reasons why it makes it endgame for me. I gotta say, it's right in the middle. Like I said, not very peaky, but it's wonderful. It's great flavor. Some days this is perfect, really. Most of the time I want something like more exciting, peakier, but a lot of times this is just it's just right. Sometimes this is just right. So yeah, guys, this is the one coffee channel that you could be a part of. Okay, so if you want to hang out, you want to chit chat, I'm just some regular dude. I'm not an expert, okay? I just share my coffee experiences and my brew sessions with you guys. That's all it is. But on this channel, you could be a part of the whole thing, right? We've had Ollie as a main character recently, Off with the Heads. Carrie's always there, always present, very knowledgeable. So you guys can reach out to me and I'll respond either in a video or we can talk on Instagram or, come in the comments below of the videos. Anything like that. If you need help with anything, you can leave me a comment and I'll either address it on a video or respond and try to help you as best as I can. Doesn't mean I'll be able to, because like I said, I'm just some average guy, but I have been doing this long enough that, I can kind of have it down packed, let's say. I'm not an expert, but I have it down packed. As far as tasting coffee and the tasting notes, I've gotten so much better than in the beginning that it's like crazy. I mean, I've made a lot of progress. I can taste a lot of things in the coffee that I never imagined that I would be able to do. And even in espresso, which is very intense and harder to pick out the nuanced flavors in espresso than on pour over. But even in espresso, I gotta say, I've come a long way. But, my objective here on the channel is for us to share and to hang out for an hour or so. My videos end up being somewhere between like 30 minutes and an hour. And, just hang out. It's not, sometimes people get triggered because I talk too much, supposedly. But it's a talk show. That's all we do here. Hopefully I was able to keep you company here for a little while. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this, but I don't want this video to get super long. Again, I'm going to be, by the time you guys see me next time, I will be fresh back from the trip to California. Hopefully I'll have some interesting stuff to share with you guys. Hopefully I can bring some beans back from a local roaster there. I'm also getting ready to order something from DAC in Manhattan as promised, and I'll review those two roasters as well. But I'm guessing I'll bring something back from California to share here with you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy your time here with me today. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You guys know how I really appreciate you guys a whole bunch. I look forward to your comments every single time, and it's what makes it worth it for me. I would absolutely not be making like these weekly videos if it wasn't for the engagement and the feedback I get from you guys, and just hanging out and getting to know you guys. It's the only reason why I do this. I would probably still make some travel videos. I would probably make some review videos, maybe some tutorial videos, but that's not what this is. This is just hanging out, making coffee, and sharing my brew sessions with you guys, and just getting to know you guys. That's most of my videos. That's what they end up being. That's what this is. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next Sunday. Cheers.